This is a Clouds weather alert.
Good Saturday, everybody. Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center right now with a dangerous tornadic situation going on across Middle Tennessee. You see this storm here that's just there, kind of edging in toward the northern part of Nashville here, Davidson County. It's a national threat here that we need to cover because we've already had some of these storms in the history of producing tornado damage in Tennessee and Kentucky today. Overachieving the SPC after things had already started to kind of get into motion. The Storm Prediction Center had to upgrade the risk here to an enhanced risk accordingly based on the reports, based on the risk upgrade, based on at least a lower risk toward our area tomorrow. We've gone ahead and went into alert mode, turned that logo red here, and we need folks to really be taking this situation seriously right now. New tornado warning, this being issued. You see that new pink box there popping on up, or purple lavender, whatever you want to call it. You can see here at about 4:36, about a minute ago, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located there near the community. It looks like Joliton, if I'm pronouncing that right, or near Nashville, moving east at about 40 miles per hour. A particularly dangerous situation. So right now we're one level below a tornado emergency, but we still need folks to take this very seriously. This tornado here, let me go ahead and zoom on in a little bit. We have some other warnings here as well. We have damage that was happening there earlier on, and we'll get to that here as time permits in this special report. But right now you can see it's a little bit messier than it was here based on some of the things we're seeing, at least behind the scenes, if you're kind of maybe understanding of radar meteorology some. We're in a spot here where it's not quite as well defined here at this point in time, but it could tighten right back up and it'll be in some very highly popular areas. So we can't let our guard down. We've had a debris signature with this already here as it was approaching. I didn't want to have a situation where we just got it to pop right back up over the metro. We weren't on with it here. Based on the history of some of the other storms that have been very concerning. Even one caught, it seemed, on a TV station tower camera earlier out of the Nashville TV market. But we're looking right in here. So you can see this is State Road 155. And again, it's messier right now. But this area out here, as I zoom on in, that area is kind of heading in this direction, a little bit of a northerly component. But it'd be crossing over a potential tornado, Interstate 65 here very soon. But even before that, it'd be crossing over I-24. So we need folks to take this very seriously. But just folks have to, on this holiday type of period. I know 2 years ago tomorrow is the anniversary of the Mayfield tornado. We can't let our guard down here, even if there's a chance it's hitting on the ground like it was a few moments ago, but it's headed right, and it's headed right into the more populated areas. So can't let our guard down here. The tornado will be right in this area here, right on the north side of Nashville there as we're looking toward Davidson County in Tennessee. Let's go to the north here. You see, you already have a report there. That was a tornado ongoing in Springfield, Tennessee there in Robertson County a little while ago. And now a scenario here where we have some rotation. This was a confirmed tornado warning. It was west of I-65 here and still is. And there may be some debris in there as we're looking right now, not as clear as things were, which is some good news. But it was down to the south a little bit when this warning first got issued. It was confirmed right near, it would look like US 41 just based on a quick look at this here. I know we've been skipping around. This is debris tracker from earlier. And you can see how I had that debris pop out. Now it's more, it looks like the lofted debris. So maybe not actually bringing up debris at this moment. I know it's been a tricky day for folks, not in our area yet. Tomorrow could be, but toward our 62 counties. But it's a national enough that we need to be on. I know some of those games, football games, being interrupted. Army, Navy, Army. They're just whatever you want to really just see here, unfortunately, in terms of some of the sporting events, college basketball, but it's a situation that warrants these interruptions here this afternoon. And as we're getting to the evening, it looks like this threat's just going to continue here. We've had more tornado watches issued, and you see that we're Clarksville. That's in Montgomery County, Tennessee, north of side. I almost want to say north of Clarksville, but on the map it would look like that, but really north side of Clarksville up in toward southern Kentucky. We had a tornado touchdown that caused significant damage. WSMV TV in Nashville, they're the ones that had the tower cam up. They were also reporting there a little while ago that there were some entrapments here and injuries are being told as well. So we're hoping there's nothing worse than that. Don't have any information to add to that here at this point, but we're trying to work to get the very latest as we go ahead and continue to watch things here. Again, you can kind of see with some severe thunderstorm warnings, but let's go to the broad view here. If we can, we'll switch computers again. Let's go ahead and pop to the broad perspective. We're trying to just effort everything we can on the air for you guys right now. Again, tornado situation. There's a history of tornadic activity. You see some tornado watches here on the screen. You even see there's 80-degree temperature as well in Louisiana. And that's not helping things. A lot of instability interacting with us here. We have some cooler temperature aloft as well. There's a lot of different things going on here to come together today in this meteorological setup, and it's overachieving. I know we've been talking about a third all week. It's developed a little bit further east than what we were thinking earlier on, but it's a scenario here where we're kind of just having to watch things on the fly. There was a slight risk here earlier today. That's pretty much what we've had all week for today, and then we started having the damage, and then they upgraded the risk around 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Central to the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, who's in charge of this. And we'll see that in a moment, but they also are in charge of issuing the watches. Again, those are the broad yellow swaths here. We have 3 of them right now. One of them goes all the way out toward Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and that goes until about midnight Central Time. So we have to watch that area very carefully. And also Huntsville there, that risk going to about 11 o'clock Central Time there. So again, just have to be very mindful. This is not a very quick moving situation, especially when stuff kind of develops more isolated like this. And now let's go ahead and go on over. This is the risk you can see in the middle of this here in some ways. You have that orange area that was added. That's a 3 out of 5 tornado risk, including a chance of some strong tornadoes in here. I know that potential may only last here within that risk area for not too much longer, but you see right on the edge of that Nashville, and they're getting potentially hammered here right now. We're not sure, again, not sure if we're actually getting a touchdown of a tornado. I know as we kind of broaden things out, we're going to have a local risk tomorrow, marginal right now for our area, a little bit of the one in the western counties as we get toward the overnight. You see a tornado warning there in Kentucky as well, and a marginal toward Frankfort. That's near the state capitol then. So at about 5:42, a severe thunderstorm in Eastern time. It was located there and potentially capable of producing a tornado near Frankfort, moving northeast about 45 miles an hour. So again, let's just go ahead and keep looking at things here. I know that's a marginal risk, but you can't ever discount a marginal risk, not even in the form of tornado risk, but there's a chance of a tornado there right now, according to the meteorologists at the National Weather Service in Louisville. Let's go ahead and go back down to the south here. I think we'll switch back over since we're watching that activity around Nashville. Let me go ahead and zoom back in there to see what's going on. So you see right near the interstates there, that's where we're getting this activity. It might be tightening up a little bit, possibly in here. Don't see debris right over it for certain. That's good at least, but again, it's being called, at least by the Weather Service, a particularly dangerous situation there. There is that chance we could have a large tornado in the metro here of Nashville, and you see that wind there, and it just kind of updated on us there. Doesn't mean we'll have a tornado. They're confirmed. The PDS warden, I know they're probably erring on the side of caution, so we've had a history of it, and we had some of that indicating further off toward the west here, but again, you can see State Road 45 in there, US 31E around Nashville, and moving toward almost Lakewood and Hendersonville, that vicinity now. At least maybe it's putting a difference as of right now metro. You can't tell there's debris here, which is a good sign. We had earlier around Clarksville in Tennessee there. We had a very clear debris signature as that was moving into southern Kentucky, and that's not what you want to see on another one. There that was pretty nasty in western Tennessee, a storm earlier on. So you just got to be really careful here in these type of circumstances. Let me go ahead and see what else we might have here as I go through some more different information. Let me just go ahead and see. I know we have a lot of different tools that are working here for us here in the Weather Center. Let me just see here if we have anything that may be kind of updating us on some other questions or comments on YouTube. So let me do that here. Let me go over there right now. We're going to go ahead and check to see. Again, we thank you so much for tuning in. We thank you so much for trusting me here. This dangerous situation, for sure. We just have to be kind of mindful of it. We just have to be kind of on top of what's going on. Again, I know for some folks it's final exam time at the college, university level, so that's always kind of adds an extra layer to things. I just got to be kind of mindful of what's happening here because sometimes folks maybe are distracted. And we need to make sure they're staying safe. So again, a nasty situation. Let's go over to tornado safety tips. We haven't pulled that one up since I've been on here. So tornado warning means you want to seek shelter inside a sturdy building. Get as many walls between you and the outside as possible and protect yourself from flying debris. Football helmet, bicycle helmet, something like that. I know it's a El Nino pattern here, kind of a reoccurring potential for us here when we have the up and down nature of things. You go warm and you have storms, some tornadic activity, and you get cooler again. It's that type of pattern. And we could have some wintry weather toward the northeast here, or even some winds there that could be pretty strong in the northeast as we're looking ahead as we're getting toward the start of that work week. So that could be problematic here as well from a national standpoint of things. And we've talked about a risk all week, but they've really kind of overachieved a slight 2 out of 5 risk here, and that's why they went to the enhanced after we were already starting to get the damage reports in there. And haven't had any tornado emergencies, thankfully. I know there's actually a glitch with one of the apps here today that a lot of people in meteorology use it. So, details, it was actually showing that we would have been on for any of those. Just one level below is what we've been with a few of these warnings today. No catastrophic threats, but considerable threats have been the storyline here as we've been looking towards some of these different spots. So, considerable danger, one level below, still can be deadly. But catastrophic is the worst of the worst. We always go on for those if we're not already on in terms of a bigger risk scenario here. So again, just kind of wanted to let you guys know about that. Let me go ahead and move it away from this since we can give you some other information here. Again, let's go back on radar and zoom in here to the Nashville area. Again, we're trying to give you guys the very latest here on what's happening. Again, I'm efforting all the latest details here this afternoon on this December the 9th. I know tomorrow is the 2-year anniversary, I believe, of that Mayfield tornado in Kentucky. That was even a bigger risk, and we had worse tornadoes by a good margin than what we've had today. But today's tornado's still been pretty nasty here. So, again, I just got to be really careful, really cautious. And we're just going to keep looking here at the latest details. Again, let me just go ahead and keep checking some things here. I'm just checking all of our different sources that we have at our disposal here. Again, let me just keep on kind of typing some things in, see if I can get some different answers here, some more questions, just in terms of some meteorology details and the like. So, again, just trying to see exactly on some of our different sources, SPC information and the like. So, again, just going ahead and, okay, that looks a little tighter again now. Okay, that looks a little more definitive just east there of US 31E. Let's see if that's on the ground. It may be. Can't really tell. We're so close in the radar. Do we have a terminal Doppler? We do, but I don't know if it's going to help us that much at this point. But I'm going to check it at least. Some of these bigger areas will have these. It helps us out a little. That really says a rotation anyway, which isn't a good sign. We went toward Hendersonville, so I know you see Goodlettsville, and then you see Hendersonville, and it's kind of straddling, but more toward Hendersonville with it progressing off toward the northeast here. So again, okay, we just got a new statement from the Weather Service at 4:48. A confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over Old Hickory, or 10 miles northeast of Nashville, moving east at 40 miles an hour. You have areas like Gallatin and Hendersonville in this danger here. You also have the Green Hill area, Bledsoe Creek State Park, and Cottontown. That really looks definitive there on radar. moving toward Hendersonville, Tennessee right now. Gotta take your tornado precautions. Oh yeah, that's really tightening up. That's what we do not want to see. That's a very highly popular area. Maybe not right downtown Nashville. This is headed right for Hendersonville though. And this is still very dangerous. So we need folks to get in that interior room away from windows right away here around Hendersonville. That may be debris there. It honestly looked like it. I think that is. That's very, very close to the radar. I think that's the debris signature. We may have a very significant tornado headed in toward Hendersonville, Tennessee. Now, that's a very highly populated area. I know that Goodlettsville, I believe, and I'm just trying to off the top of my head, but I believe that's a place where there's some manufacturing and the like up there. But then we have Hendersonville. Let me check the population on the Hendersonville area. They may go tornado emergency on this. I know that debris signature is at such a low level, though, even though it's really looking nasty. I think that's pretty clear. Okay, so what we're going to do for a second, I want to put the mouse on because just in case you guys don't know how to read radar, once you see where I'm pointing, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about here. It's very clear to me anyway. So here's the mouse right now. Right there, this is a debris signature, maybe a debris ball here. Yeah, that's a debris ball. This is headed right into Hendersonville. If you have relatives in Hendersonville, Tennessee, I mean, there's a small chance it could be distorted a little because we're so close on the radar, but this looks like it could be an EF2 plus type tornado. You need to let them know right now to get in the interior room away from windows. You gotta get them inside to put that bicycle helmet on. Flying debris here could be a real hazard, and this could save their life by putting their bicycle helmet on there, a football helmet on, something like that. We really need folks. This is in Tennessee. I know when I pop up Hendersonville, pops up from other states here like North Carolina, but this is in Tennessee here, folks. We need you to take shelter immediately. We haven't had a tornado emergency today, but there's at least a chance we could get there with this. Apparently, this is a town of over 61,000 people. This is very highly populated territory. Do not delay around Hendersonville. That's very nasty looking. This is probably going to be over town right now, pretty much. Right into Hendersonville. You do not mess around in Hendersonville. You got to take action. We know there's holiday Christmas parades going on today. And in some areas, I don't know if there's one there. That'd be disastrous if folks riding about in a situation like that at this point. I just know what's going on in North Florida. We really need you guys to take action here. This could be a matter of life and death here around Hendersonville, Tennessee. This is really low on the debris tracker because we're so close in the radar. So let me go up, and I think we're seeing it on the higher levels as well here. Yeah, okay, they did what I was afraid they would have to do. They've been given a hand here that is very, very, very nasty. We now have a tornado emergency here, folks, for Gallatin and Hendersonville. The first one of the day. This is a matter of life and death here around Hendersonville, Tennessee, folks. We've had a tornado emergency in the country in a while, but now we've been given a very, very rough hand. Tornado emergency, folks. This is a matter of life and death here. A matter of life and death here right now around the Gallatin area in Hendersonville. You have to take shelter. Your life could depend on it here, folks. We have potentially a deadly tornado here in progress. So at about 4:52, a confirmed large and destructive tornado was located over Hendersonville, or 10 miles southwest of Gallatin, moving northeast at about 40 miles an hour. This is potential life and death stuff here, folks. I know we've had a history going back to early 2020. That Cookville tornado and the Nashville tornado situation overachieved. We had a 5% risk go to 10 today, though, and this stuff's overachieved. We had a bigger warning out ahead for at least some threat this week, but it kind of became displaced. But this is a disastrous radar image here, and we're probably going to do scan soon. Probably going to be right over town. This is a few minutes behind. This is how radar works. Instead of it being back here, the tornado is probably right in town causing widespread damage. We hope it's nothing just to the extreme level, but there's a good chance it could be widespread devastation here, folks, around Hendersonville, Tennessee. Again, a tornado emergency for Hendersonville. You've got to take shelter. This is a matter of really, again, I hate to keep repeating it. We don't want to scare people, but right now it's a situation where folks just have to take action. This is the highest level of alert from the Weather Service of any kind. It does not get issued very often here. We have not had one of these today. We were close maybe, but we do have an official tornado emergency from the Weather Service in Nashville here. A tornado emergency for Gallatin and Hendersonville. You have to take shelter here, folks. This is not one where you can mess around. If you've never taken shelter, even for any type of tornado situation, well, this is, if you're going to pick one, this is the one, if you're in this area, you got to take shelter for, and you got to do it right now. This is very serious stuff around Hendersonville, Tennessee. If you have relatives there, they have to be in shelter. If they have a basement, they got to be there. They got to be there right now, folks. Again, this is really serious stuff. And yeah, the latest scan, oh, that's not good. Let's go ahead and let's check the debris tracker. It's not updated yet on this. It's still behind, but tornado right in here. Let's check some of the pixels here. Let's do a pixel query. So we're talking about winds of 104 miles an hour and 80 miles an hour. They're not completely together at those numbers, but there's a chance we could, let's just say here, it's definitely conceivable, at least we could have winds in excess of 150 miles an hour in here right now. So let's go ahead and pull up our EF scale. Again, you can't rate based on radar, but it's a situation just to kind of give an idea of what type of damage we may be dealing with. We could be dealing with at least an EF3 tornado in here. That's what level mobile homes in Albany, Georgia in 2017 killed a lot of people. We really need you to take shelter here. Again, it's on the north side of town now, so a lot of folks, it's already too late. But if you're in the path of this, we have Gallatin, Tennessee as well here. You see it's way down the stream, but it's going to move there quickly. You don't have that much time. That's why they issued this for you guys out ahead. Or storm moving east there, northeast really, 40 miles an hour to 1 until 5:15 Central Time. Again, very sobering stuff, my friends, around Hendersonville, Tennessee. Again, we're efforting all the information we can here right now. I'm just going to pull up some more details here again. This is really serious stuff. Really serious stuff here, folks. Let me just kind of see where we're at with some things. I know tornado emergencies, I don't get to see very often. I'm checking my list here that I can get. It's a source off of Wikipedia, I know. But, okay, the last one, I believe this is right. I'm just doing this on the fly. I could be wrong, but it looks like the first one since we had that emergency where we had a situation that wasn't overwhelming, but it was still pretty nasty back in June in Nebraska. So we have not had a tornado emergency in the country since June until now, it would seem, just based on my very quick research of the matter. Again, this is a matter of life and death here. Oh, wow, that really picked up there. Again, the scans, I wish they were a little more often here, quite honestly. It looks a little weaker, but I don't want you to lay your guard down by any stretch of the imagination here. Debris tracker is still a couple scans behind on here. So let's just kind of, let's see if there's a debris ball with it still. So you can kind of see the progression here, probably somewhere up in here. And this is headed right along US 31E, right in toward Gallatin, Tennessee here. Gallatin. Let me go ahead and check here some more information, folks. Again, this is very serious stuff. A tornado emergency. When we came in here, we hadn't had one of these today. We're really watching this Nashville accident, and right in the metro region is where this just exploded into a catastrophic threat here. And that's what we're seeing from Hendersonville up toward Gallatin, Tennessee right now. We hope it weakens. It may be, but I can't guarantee it. Really not sure right now, honestly. Really not sure. It could be a trend in the right direction, but our scans here, they don't come in just perfectly. So you have to take shelter, have to get to that basement here if you have that option, because it can protect your life around Gallatin, Tennessee. Again, we're trying to just give you guys the very latest here. I know we have that risk for tomorrow. I was going to see you guys at some point during the coverage for our local area. We'll get to that at some point, but we don't want to break away. We've already just going to cut it anyway. Separate for the tornado emergency is we're at 5 o'clock here in the central time zone, 6 o'clock in the east now. Meteorologist Casey Cloud, again, tracking this scenario. I know we have our clock off since it's a situation here where we wanted to kind of make sure we're not confusing folks at the time, since It's in the central time zone where we've tracked some of this, and cars now we're being told have been flipped on I-65 there in Davidson County. So maybe it started touching down there right back in here. Let's go ahead and go back on this, the loop, and we still got some pretty tight rotation with this. Yeah, it was really starting back here was messy, but it's just right in here, right about here, I bet it started touching down, and then I'll have to look at the debris product, but then, and then it went right through town. I mean, we'll need a miracle here if we don't have a lot of injuries, and we would really need a miracle even for there not to be, I hate to say this, but for there not to be loss of life based on what we're seeing on the radar imagery right now. That debris signature was very, very serious, folks. And let's just, again, we didn't get an update on this scan of this. I know sometimes these radar systems get overwhelmed. There's just so much pull on them by folks across the country. And again, I just have to be kind of mindful here when we're dealing with these type of scenarios. Again, you can see that blue there. Again, that's very dense debris. Then we're again, let's go up higher in the tilts. Okay, it was ahead on that tilt. And that could be lofted debris there, but we're so close on the radar, it gives a little bit of a distorted feel to it, but those wind numbers would be more accurate. The debris sometimes it makes it look a little worse, maybe, because you just can't tell, but the wind numbers are going to be closer than normal to accurate, and we're seeing numbers that could go toward Hendersonville of 180 miles an hour. I'm going to say 150 just to kind of be conservative here. I mean, if these aren't completely gate to gate in this type of pattern this time of year, that's still only up 3 tornado that just went through a town here and caused all sorts of damage. You have to imagine it's not good. I mean, we're talking about a town of over 60,000 people. Let me see. I'm just curious, honestly. Is there any type of Christmas parades there or anything like that in toward that area today? Because if folks riding about, this could be an absolute catastrophe. I know there's just a lot of them this weekend. Let's see here. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. I got a very dangerous situation right now. Again, it looks like there was going to be some type of event in that town today in Tennessee. I just don't know what time. Let me see here. There are quite a few plans for this here. Even safety meetings out ahead of it. Just as we're looking here. Okay, it was gonna be on December 3rd. Okay, let me see. I think there might have still had something today though. Let me double check because it popped up from my other source. Let me just see here. I think it had some type of Christmas on the square there. It's shown up in some event sources, but not in others. So maybe we got lucky. Let's hope we got lucky here, and that did not be the storyline here with folks in a scenario like that. But again, let's get back on Doppler here. Now you can see around US 31E is where we're tracking things right now. Again, this is headed in the direction there of Gallatin, Tennessee. Gallatin, Tennessee. Again, it's a one-man band. We're having to do it all on the fly here. We're having to do it all on the fly. So just bear with me as we try to give you guys the very latest on what's going on. Again, a tornado emergency here. A tornado emergency. We thank you so much for tuning in. We thank you so much for trusting me here. Again, around Gallatin, Tennessee. I need to take shelter. Need to take shelter here. Again, that's where this is headed. History of a large and destructive tornado, it would seem. Back further out here. Toward the south and west. Again, we're just trying to offer you guys all the information on this national level. Again, there's your last scan of this from about 3 minutes ago. There's tornadoes in here. Let's see if we got a new low tilt debris scan. We did. It's messier now. I mean, that could definitely be something in here. Okay, so, but I can see where it was for certain. This is probably what just made their stomachs here really, just really feel queasy like mine. When you see a debris signature like this headed right toward a town, or around sunset even, and this is right there. This is very, very significant that we saw at 4:50 Central Time, 5:50 Eastern, moving toward Hendersonville, and now Right now, it's a little bit tougher to pick out here, which may be a good sign, but we're so close on radar. There's a lot of feedback in here, so I don't want to rule anything out. They haven't dropped the tornado emergency, I don't think. Let me double check here. Yeah, still going here. At 4:59 Central Time, a large and destructive tornado was located near Hendersonville near Gallatin, moving east and really is more northeast or east northeast at 40 miles an hour. Tornado emergency, particularly dangerous situation. As Weather Service says, this is a what they call a deadly tornado. They only use this word for the worst of the worst, and I think as I kind of look at my other monitor here, that may be a debris ball down here. Let me see. It could be. Okay, yeah, that's Gallatin. This is picking back up here. You gotta be inside the south side of Gallatin. This is a matter of life and death. We're seeing an intensification now. Headed right in toward Gallatin. Take shelter. Catastrophic damage could be possible to your community. We're talking about a town, about 60,000 folks here. And let me go ahead and try to effort some more details now. Again, let me go ahead and see the population. We talked about at the town back toward the west there in Hendersonville. Let's see how many are in Gallatin. Okay, 44,000 there. Yeah, it's really a growing community then because 30,000 or so in 2010 census, 44,000 at the 2020 census. So this is a growing community, and we have a tornado headed your way here in Gallatin, Tennessee. Gallatin, you gotta take the south side of town, it would look like, but everybody in this morning has to be in shelter in that vicinity of Gallatin. They have to be there right now. This is very serious stuff. You gotta take shelter. The safety tips up on the screen. It progresses even further in that latest radar scan here. Again, very serious stuff. You see, if this were to get extended, we'd be talking about areas there. I think it just got updated at least. You saw areas like Castleton or Castleton. I may be mispronouncing that. Springs there. So just that could begin the downstream path here. Okay, tornado emergency for Gallatin. They were probably assessing it. If the trends were to weaken some more, then they might have dropped that, but they are not at this moment. This is a tornado emergency. Confirmed large and destructive tornado located over Gallatin, moving east at 40 miles an hour. Tornado emergency here. Again, this is a situation where the Weather Service says that you are in a life-threatening situation. I'm going to put a mouse over here. This is where it was as about a minute or 2 minutes ago. But across there, probably already now is starting to do so. State Road 109. So you got to be in shelter here. You got to be in shelter as we're watching this life-threatening situation. Flying debris, maybe deadly to those caught without shelter. They're saying mobile homes, Weather Service in Nashville, it's saying mobile homes will be destroyed. You do not want to be in a mobile home in these situations if you can avoid it. At this point, you're in maybe just a situation where you have a matter of seconds to make decisions here, but it's really something you want to plan out ahead of time if you can, going for our local viewers even. You really don't want to be in mobile homes in these type of scenarios. There could be considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles. That's likely, and complete destruction is possible. So again, let's just remind you guys of where we're at here right now with the county situation too. This is in southeastern Sumner County in Tennessee, southeastern Sumner County in Tennessee right now, where the tornado emergency is. This is very, very serious, folks. We're right around the holidays. It makes it even worse, like it did 2 years ago in Mayfield. And we talked about other situations, they weren't quite to that level here. It was pretty clear. This is not as clear. It could be a similar situation to what we had in Mayfield out between about Hendersonville and Gallatin. Okay, it just went a little more easterly now. And this is, let's check the population. I'm going to be careful. Okay, it's still hitting town. I mean, this is still hitting town. You can see the density here. I know it's tricky because it's the town name, but the town's growing. As we were talking about, the south side of town probably just took a very serious, terrible hit. I can't tell because we're so close on the debris tracker, but this is not good at all. What we're seeing here, it's going to be headed over pretty soon into ward areas downstream in Sumner County and maybe closer toward areas around Hartsville, Tennessee, or maybe even a little bit north of that. There, maybe points a little bit north of that, but Again, we'll see. It could be closer to Hartsville. It kind of depends on the trajectory. Right now, it's said maybe a little north, but if it's starting to aim more east, then it could straighten up right into town or closer by at least. So, again, right now around Gallatin, south side of town is probably just like we saw in Hendersonville. It's just taken a very serious, terrible, horrific hit. Again, we don't know for sure. I think it's a little more definitive in some ways back out of the west with the debris tracker. Okay, it looks like we're having some issues at the terminal, but let me check it. Oh, yeah, that must have went down. Yikes. Okay, that's not what we want to see. So, we don't have that radar anymore. Must have took some type of hit here. And that hook is really textbook. If you look at a meteorology textbook, you'll see a hook similar to that one right now that we're seeing on the Doppler. And again, that's headed there over toward Castleton Springs, if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably get a tornado warning there soon. You need to be ready. I mean, it's not that far away from you guys there, folks. And this could be a real problem. They're going to have to at least issue a base tornado warning for sure over there, if not something much higher on the tornado warning list there. There's a few different levels, really. We have the base one. We have radar confirmed, and really that kind of goes with public confirmed. And you have considerable, and you have catastrophic out of really 4 levels or so. This is the highest and most serious level here of tornadic seriousness, and you don't get these every day. We haven't had one in many months since the summertime frame there. We had one out in Nebraska. It was a situation where it didn't verify, like some of them do, but these generally verify a little bit worse here in this part of the country as you're looking at things. This time of year, the second season for severe weather, that's what we're dealing with right now. Again, a tornado emergency here. Still an emergency, folks. You do not get these every day. We haven't had one of these about half a year. And we've had that from Hendersonville up toward Gallatin. Again, very serious. Okay, new warning, not tornado emergency at the moment. Okay, but it's 1 level below. It's at 3 out of 4, like what we had with some of the others today. So, but there's still, the tornado emergency hasn't been dropped yet, I don't believe. Let me double check here in the text of this. Yeah, still tornado emergency for Gallatin. And that still goes for another, let's see here, 2 minutes. So right now, we'll probably take that banner away here in a moment, but still for another minute or 2, that's officially in effect, but it still could be really bad toward that area that I was just showing you guys around Castleton Springs. Could end up being a situation here that always gets upgraded again. That can happen really quickly. So again, we're talking about southeastern Sumner County in Middle Tennessee now, southwestern Macon County, and Truesdale, if I'm pronouncing that properly, county in Middle Tennessee as well. 512 confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over Gallatin, moving east at 40 miles an hour. We're talking about Gallatin, we're talking about Hartsville here, and this is a large tornado that could be deadly. Take cover now. Move to an basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you're outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. So again, very serious stuff, very serious situation still. So that tornado emergency tag, the worst tag, the catastrophic tag, is about to go away, at least temporarily here. Just 1 level below, though, it still could get up there again very quickly. You're seeing here this potential. I know we have that warmer air temperature in the mid-upper 60s in this area, and that's not what you see generally this time of year, this time of night. And that warm air, this pattern is fueling this. Again, serious stuff. Again, we've had a tornado emergency for Sumner County. It's now been replaced with a PDS just 1 level below. It's still almost as serious, but not quite as serious for Macon, Sumner, and Truesdale County until about 5:45 Eastern, 6:45 Central. So let's go ahead. Okay, so with that tornado emergency going away at that point, we'll take that super away. And we're going to keep monitoring this, but a little less population, a little bit more of a situation here that is a little level below what it was just a second ago, but it's still very serious, and we can't let our guard down. So again, let me just check some more information here. Again, I'm trying to give you guys everything you need here. to protect you, your friends, and your family. Again, I'm going to go ahead and to see what's going on. I'm going to see what's going on here. Again, let me keep checking stuff. Again, just it's a one-man band, but it's all about protecting you, your friends, and your family. Again, just trying to get an idea of what we're really having to deal with here. I know it's just a tricky pattern here overall. I mean, let's just go ahead, if I can, I'm going to switch to other source here. So we have these storms here that are pretty nasty in nature. So let's go ahead and go to the other source. We already had other tornado touchdowns today as well. We're really watching some of that action here. I know there's 2 tornado warnings in the country. The other one is in Allen County, Kentucky, by the way. That little red box there, you see just above the pink one there. So again, let's check some of the tornado reports here from SPC, the filtered reports. So earlier today, we were in Stewart County, Tennessee. There was power lines down there. We're talking about with debris in the road on a Red Top Road north of Indian Mound. Debris signature noted on radar. And then we had Montgomery County webcam center tornado. Many reports there. Tornado continued across northern portions of Clarksville. Then we had Todd County, trees down along US 41 southeast of Trenton, the Kentucky region. Dixon County, Tennessee, damage reported in northern part of Dixon County. Time and location estimated from tornado debris signature on radar. And then damage to an industrial area in Robertson County, Tennessee. The North Davidson County has this tornado that we've been just tracking now. Moving on in the earlier report at the very beginning of this process there. Cars flipped on Interstate 65. Cars flipped on the interstate there. That's not what you want to hear. Remind me of tornadoes, some deadly in the past that we had to deal with here. When you hear stuff like that, that is very serious. It's very sobering, and it really goes to show you how nasty things are here at this point. So again, the tornado emergency not in play right now. We have the PDS warning now. We'll get back to that in a moment. I want to go ahead while we have the chance here. We don't maybe have a huge one in case we get another tornado emergency. Make sure you're taking set around Castleton and Springs, if I'm pronouncing that right there. It's making some of the Truesdale counties in Tennessee. We have that situation, but I just want to make sure we give our local viewers, our 62 counties, an update for tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be a stormy day. Our severe threat may be a little bit higher even than what we had initially there in some of our forecast here. I'm trying to see our marginal risk. I was hoping it would update. For whatever reason, it's not doing the automatic update in here. So let me go ahead and just see the coverage map. So let's do it like this. And our big focus lately has been on high school football and the like. Teams like Hawthorne are getting that big win earlier on, but others come up a little short, but still state runner-ups. Congratulations to everybody involved in those games. So some Georgia teams to play next week. But let's go ahead and see here a marginal risk. So it's now including everybody pretty much. Maybe a little bit of Flagler not in here, but a marginal risk for at least a win for everybody. And then the tornado risk cuts off from about Baker, Nassau, maybe Lake City off to the north and west here. So that's Columbia County, Baker, Nassau region, north and west. Generally, the tornado risk could be, but marginal wind risk is for everybody pretty much in that area. Maybe a little bit of Clipman County there as I look. Maybe a non-tornado risk either, but just kind of looking at some of our broader maps here in the Weather Center. But again, this is stuff here we'll have to watch for your Sunday, so be careful here. Let me look at some more model information real quick here while we're on the air as well. Let me go ahead and go on in here. Let me go ahead and pop up some of our sources. And we're going to go ahead and see here. So the timing now looks like it could be pretty early tomorrow even. I know we had that very low threat tonight, but we'll watch that if we get a rogue storm out ahead. The bigger potential, we had some of that last year, I believe. Or maybe it was earlier this year. Last severe weather season, per se, at least. We had that with the system really overachieve on us, that tornado warning potential. But as we're looking about 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, we start to have that threat entering into western counties like Liberty and Franklin here. And up in Georgia, talking about Clay and Clipman and Early. And just that general region, Leon County. Folks at FSU studying for exams, pay attention. I know you I've already had quite a bit going on here this week, and now we have a severe threat the day before maybe your exams, your final exams, so you need to just be paying attention. I was thinking earlier on maybe not a tornado watch. I don't think we can rule that out at this point. Maybe they go with one based on this system overachieving just in the overall meteorological pattern here. So this is at 10 a.m. maybe the greatest tornado risk in that time frame around Leon County and McCulloch County around Tallahassee. That's preliminary, I mean, at this point, but just as we look even maybe, I mean, it's going to move kind of slow and could disrupt those NFL games on Sunday, but this takes priority, obviously. Severe weather potential, but this threat is going to maybe kind of break into maybe a couple different line segments. That might limit the tornado threat. I think that's why they went with not that, but more by the wind further east here. This potential, I mean, we could have a little bit of a squall line in there. Take, say, from Bradford County all the way down to Tampa now. That'd be at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And then that kind of goes across Central Florida. It kind of weakens out once it gets toward Orlando, maybe. Just past it, especially what I'm talking about, though, in that regard. So, again, just continuing to watch everything here. Again, overachieving, but we had the worst of the worst, it would seem, right? We've been on the air here over the last little bit. Let me see if I can get any early indication of what's happened there in some of the communities that were really hard hit. Since we've been on with this, Hendersonville to Gallatin. Let me go ahead and first just jump our radar back up there. We'll have the LSR, local storm reports in our system as necessary. But again, let's just see what's going on here. Moving toward US 231. Yeah, looks like let's see if there's debris. Can't again. There's some more back here, but let's check radar. It's definitely the area out ahead here. Then again, let me see if there's something here. Be really interesting to know. So it's just gonna give me some effort and some information. Effort and some information here, folks. Again. Just bear with me here. This is dangerous stuff that we're dealing with. I know. Okay, I mean, there's some. Obviously, I can't film on the air because of copyright rules and the like. But there's some different videos of a tornado in some of these areas here, and we kind of figure out really the details on all this, and I'll make sure we have this sourced out before I say it on the air here. So just bear with me. So let me just kind of figure out what we're dealing with again. Looks like a pretty significant tornado situation. Okay, actually there was looks like a Tennessee traffic camera caught one coming through Hendersonville then. Again, I know we really try to use them in Florida, but up there it's just kind of a situation where we're just kind of guessing on what states have them even that we can use and the geography of it. I'm sure some folks had it on the air though with them because I'm looking at the video now. There were just power flashes everywhere. It wasn't as wide as some, but it looks really powerful just in what I'm seeing here from the Tennessee traffic camera imagery that some folks have been posting about 20 minutes ago. So, again, not what you want to hear. Again, that's just not what you want to hear at all. Let me go ahead and keep looking. Again, a very nasty day here in Middle Tennessee. I'm just going to go and keep looking here. I know some folks really, point to me, really, unless you're looking at a traffic camera, you're almost having to put your life in danger to get the shot, especially this time of day, and stuff could be just really, really hard to track here in general, and we just hope it's not as bad as some of the indications look, because if it was a little bit on the worst side, then it might even take a little bit longer to hear stuff from that area. But there is traffic camera imagery. I can't use it because it's from a little while ago that other folks have just been kind of putting out there. But Hendersonville, there was a traffic camera. I don't see the actual. I was kind of wanting to see if we have a road marker, but I mean, literally, it looked like a fire on some of these power flashes here, just to kind of describe that Tennessee Department of Railway Transportation camera feed from a little bit earlier on. Again, very serious stuff here, folks. Very serious stuff. Very nasty damage, higher end damage here as we're looking at things right now. Again, so we're looking at a little bit broader on the current radar view. But I mean, based on radar, based on that video from the Department of Transportation in Tennessee that I was looking at off camera, it's on social media. I can't use it on air since it's not something that I have had here live or anything. But I'd have to think EF3 type damage, pretty sure of that at the minimum. So that's not what you want to see, obviously. That can be deadly. Okay, so looking back, we're now getting some local storm reports. Davidson County, tornado damage reported 1 mile northwest of Madison, and then in Sumner County, 30 miles west northwest of Henderson, some damage, probably a lot of damage, but they haven't put the exact details in here at this point. So again, let's recap some of these tornado safety tips here. Again, seek such and such a sturdy building, get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Protect yourself from flying debris. Put on a bicycle helmet, football helmet, something like that. In toward these instances. So, again, you just got to be taking precautions here. Taking precautions in these type of scenarios. You can't let your guard down here. Can't let your guard down when we're dealing with this type of stuff. So, again, really nasty here. You really have to be taking this stuff seriously. It could sneak up on folks. Have those alerts on your phone. I know you have that option on many phones where you can get the alerts, and those tornado warnings will go off, and that can maybe save your life even. We've heard of that happening, especially in the night when those phones are going off. And sometimes people have alerts and they turn them off. Well, you need to have those enabled for the tornado alerts. Literally, it can be life-saving stuff with these. So, again, just keep checking things. That looks a little, maybe just distorted there, possibly. It's a little bit interesting. Maybe inflow, yeah. To an extent, maybe into that. Again, you saw how clear the debris signature was out back to the west here and south around Hendersonville. All that it's up. That one frame, this one right here, told the story. I mean, it's very low on debris tracker because radars, I mean, literally right down here, and it's hidden at a very low level. And so you're looking for debris. It's the opposite of the other radar product. When you're at a lower level, I mean, it's going to show up really significantly, even if it's not as significant. But it looks wide here. It's just dense in general, which is concerning. And you have to kind of look higher up for the debris, though. But the winds here told the story too. We're getting winds on this scan here upward of about 140 miles an hour, it looked like. And then this one here, these winds could have been closer to 180. We'll just say 150 here, just to be conservative, because there's a chance it didn't all get down to the surface. But being as close as it is to the radar, this is opposite of debris, where debris you can see it, and it's close. You have a better chance of seeing if there's anything. But with these winds, the closer you are to the radar, the better you're going to get the wind speed, because this is reading only a couple hundred feet off the ground. I mean, winds that could be upwards in conjunction here, posing one way. These are winds going away from the radar in the red, the green going toward the radar. That could be winds upward of 180 miles an hour according to the pixel numbers. Let's hope they're not quite that high. Let's hope they're not near that high. But the evidence says that they're probably at least somewhere in that range of EF3 here. Again, that's determined by damage surveys there on the ground now by those National Weather Service employees here in the coming hours and probably days here. At this point, maybe have to have special help depending on how significant the damage is here as we're looking ahead. More of those reports, unfortunately, coming on in here as sobering reports. So, again, let's go ahead here, see what else we might have. And that was earlier, so let's kind of break away from that. But we currently have the one warning for that continuing out toward Macon, Sumner, and Truesdale counties at 5:21 local time, Central Time. A large and extremely dangerous tornado within this purple box was considered on the ground here, and that could really catch people off guard. Here. We don't want that to happen. We don't want that to happen for sure. Let me go ahead and zoom back out here. You see Cookeville, Tennessee. I know this is going to be passed to the north of them. as we're looking at things, that'd be the good news. But still watch here just in that whole region in case we get some stuff back to the south and west to really become more significant. Have to be really careful in that regard for sure. Again, let's go ahead and zoom back out now. Let's go ahead and zoom back out. You see all these thunderstorm warnings there in these yellow boxes, so that can be an issue here. Some severe thunderstorms, a potential hazard, a potential threat here, and I know that watch is that other outline. Tornado watch, I'll take it off for a minute. You see all these thunderstorm warnings though in play, and that definitely can be an issue for folks. I know you have these dew point values I'm about to sell. These are very high, and that's problematic. And wind direction, you see the winds come from the south and north. That's pushing in that moist air pattern, and that causes issues for us here for sure. You see the contrast behind it though. Drier trying, and that will be coming on in, but not yet here as we keep looking at things. So, again, just continuing to give you guys the very latest here. Continuing to give you guys the very latest to protect you, your friends, and your family. Let me go ahead and see where else we might want to go with this. Let me go ahead and see what else we might want to punch up. I'll go to the current frame on our velocity. Again, this is north of Hartsville, northwest here at this point. You see it southeast of Bethpage. Again, right in there we had that rotation. We've had a history of that damage here. We saw that really nasty debris signature just a little while ago, which was so significant and definitely a serious scenario for folks out there. Let's go ahead and zoom back out. Again, we're looking at Middle Tennessee right now. You have these storms down here. We'll watch this here. This stuff could be an issue later on. Some of that might be more linear. Some stuff out ahead could still kind of spin up. The chances might be slightly lower out here to the east, but that would be this based on the storm predictions that are out looking alike. But there's still a tornado watch, so still be on guard here as you're looking at things, as you're looking at this situation. Again, there's one active tornado warning right now that we're tracking. That's that area in Macon and Truesdale counties in Tennessee here. So the Kansas Sumner out of it. As we continue to watch, continue to track it here. I know. Okay, large tornado still they think is on the ground near Hartsville. So again, that's kind of the storyline right now. It's kind of the storyline at this moment. Again, we're still trying to figure out exactly what has happened back out toward the west and the south here. As we're looking at the overall scenario meteorologically, let me go ahead and see what I might have here in terms of new information. Let me just see if there's anything new here in terms of what we're being told, and just based on reports out of the Hendersonville area in Tennessee, and some of the stuff we have to really vet here before we bring it on the air. But definitely we've seen there, based on radar, to be major damage there in that area based on that traffic camera video. Just really nasty stuff. Again, trying to let you guys know here what's happening. Just do not like seeing this. Very problematic. Let me go ahead and see let's go to our tornado safety tips here again. Again, we have a tornado warning when I see such and such a sturdy building. Get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Protect yourself from flying debris by putting on a bicycle helmet or a football helmet, something along those lines. So, again, that's what we're dealing with right now in some of these areas across the country. We're going to have that low risk here tomorrow closer to home. Not as high as this risk, but still could get a rogue tornado or two. So be on guard. Could be around 10 a.m., maybe around Tallahassee. We'll see. Give or take, the models aren't going to be perfect in the situation. So give yourself, just in general, a margin for error a little bit there when you're thinking about that. But could impact folks there, unfortunately, going out to those church services and the like, even So keep that in mind as we're looking ahead towards Sunday morning, as you're looking ahead there and toward the timeline. So again, tornado outbreak, I'd call it here based on just the different reports earlier on. And what we're seeing right now, I mean, just an even worsening situation with that tornado emergency. I was in play from Hendersonville to Gallatin there, Sumner County, Tennessee. Again, popping this back up a little bit here, getting some heavy rain in some of these areas that are having to do maybe search and rescue even. Just kind of making really the assumption that based on what we've seen on radar and the images on camera, that in at least some of these areas it's pretty certain that would have to take place here for folks. At least that there'd be some folks trapped like we saw north of Clarksville earlier, according to media reports. It's not good when you have a situation that's clear enough where we can just make that assumption, but that's where we're at with this right now, based on that debris signature that we were seeing, based on some of the images we've been seeing behind the scenes. So it's not a good one, not a good situation. As we go ahead and just keep looking here, let me go ahead and zoom back out a little bit. May wrap it up pretty soon, depending on the information we're getting in, and just break back in if we need to in terms of maybe a tornado emergency. Obviously, we would then, or just more about tomorrow's local coverage here. So we're just going to keep monitoring it here right now, though, obviously, in the Weather Center. Again, let's go ahead and pop up weather mode. Again, trying to see everything that's going on and this overall pattern. Let's check some of our energy values here. You don't see them as high up there, but they're still there to some degree, it would seem, on some of these spots at least. But I know we have a lot of significant tornado parameter, supercell composite even a little bit higher, which indicates the potential for some rotating storms. Storm fuel / ingredients here. We're looking at that on the air right now with you. Again, let's go ahead and go back on over to some other modes here. You see our tornado risk here at 10% they introduced at the Storm Prediction Center earlier on. That strong tornado risk area. We still have some of the stuff in that, but some of this area is starting to get behind the greatest potential. You see the wind shift, but some of these areas here are outside of risk altogether when you have the wind shift to being from the north and west versus being from the south here. So again, kind of what we're dealing with right now, kind of the overall scenario that we're in. Okay, they just dropped a tornado warning. That's a good sign then. So let's see that. I mean, they actually canceled it, or just, I'm backing up for a second. Okay, they're gonna let it expire officially at 5:45 Central. It's not a local warning. So we don't have to like stay on to the last second here of a warning or anything like that. We gotta just keep watching things here in the overall scenario. The overall scenario here. And let me go ahead and zoom back out a little bit. Again, I'm still getting some damage reports in, which are not what you want to hear, obviously, out of the Hendersonville area. Let's go ahead and just remind you, though, while we're on here, too. I know we have some of the severe thunderstorm warnings. Some of those were like Jasper County, Mississippi. That's been a considerable threat here. 2 winds gale 71-hour winds possible there as we're looking toward Bay Springs. You also have Smith County. That's the same general area it looks to be, just based on the quick glance. And then Morehouse Parish there in, it looks like Louisiana. Golf ball size hail threat there. It's a little bit higher than your just space severe thunderstorm warnings and a few of these. Reminding you guys of where we're at in terms of our live streaming here. I know you have Facebook, Casey Cloud Every X you can watch on, as well as Cloud Weather. You have Twitter at Cloud Casey. You have YouTube at Cloud Weather. Make sure you haven't already done so. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button. And then you also have Twitch there, Cloud Weather. You have the website, cloudweather.com. You have an interactive radar available there. And that's really helpful, especially when we're not on the air, to break things down. You can see stuff anytime on that spot there on that website, cloudweather.com. So, again, just continuing to track things here. That wind shift, definitely cool air back. You see in parts of Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, south central Missouri, 40s versus 60s Arkansas, but even warmer air where we still have the severe threat. We don't have it back out, even in parts of most of Arkansas at this point, but you have it further down here. You have that further down, we're in the 70s, and then That could be an issue here for us tomorrow for part of the day here. So just have to keep that in mind as we pull up the tornado watch areas here that we're talking about. And then that's what we're watching in the shorter term for tornadic development being a possibility. Let's go ahead and pull up the satellite. And you can kind of see what's going on in that regard. And then take off the temperatures. You definitely see some cold cloud tops. Not really cold in some of these, but I know we have a situation with temperature profiles that are kind of interesting that are aiding things along here too. So I know we could have some wintry weather further up in the northeast here as we look ahead. That'll be something to watch, maybe a little bit further south than that. Some winds there as well. That could be a factor toward New York City there, that part of the country. Again, just continuing to check things here. Continuing to track. Again, we'll watch stuff for our local area tomorrow as well. You see a little bit of this stuff here for tonight. We'll watch for the far western areas late tonight, but really starting around sunrise is when our far western counties will have to start really watching things here for some risk of severe weather activity. So again, just be on guard with that. And we'll be here through the day, and just as needed, even out ahead of that, if we get any more really crazy situations like we just had from Hendersonville to Gallatin, we'll make sure to let you guys know about them here in the Weather Center. Again, we thank you so much for tuning in. We thank you so much for trusting me here. For the time being, we're going to wrap it up, I think. Just really trying to get a handle on what's going on. You see these severe thunderstorm warnings, northern parts of Louisiana, even one west of Alexandria, some acts in there, Texas. You see, the Hattiesburg, we have some warnings there in play. You see around Tupelo. I mean, a lot of thunderstorm warnings. At least they're not tornado warnings right now as we're tracking things. Of course, if thunderstorm warnings in our area, if thunderstorm warnings, that'd be more concerning. We'd have to talk about them, but we don't really have to focus on them too much generally when they're not in our area when you have these type of threats. But again, we'll be here. We'll be watching. Again, try to enjoy that weekend, but it's likely we'll have to be back with you at some point, whether it's today and or tomorrow, for either national coverage earlier on or probably more about local later on as we're looking toward tomorrow. So keep it here. All the different sources on your screen where we're at. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch, letting you guys know exactly what we're talking about here in these type of situations. And we keep everybody in our thoughts and prayers here as we're looking toward these areas impacted up there in toward Tennessee. I know there's warnings. Those warnings there are going away as of this point, but we'll have to see if maybe new ones get issued to some degree. We'll be paying attention here. We'll be paying attention and letting you guys know if it's something that's more of a national storyline. I know if it's something more just local for those parts of the country, that's something where the local TV affiliates can really help you out. But if it's something national, we'll be on top of it here, like what we had to do when we saw that threat toward Nashville after all the history of the stuff, and then it didn't materialize right in like downtown, but then we had the tornado emergency there in the metro region, at least from Hendersonville toward Gallatin. So again, thoughts and prayers to everybody involved. Same with other storms like the area from Clarksville north as well. I got hit earlier on. Just some sobering storms here on this Saturday. Try to enjoy things for now. To stay safe out there, and we wish you a good night.